Morning, folks. Morning, everybody, and good morning, colleagues. Morning, folks. Morning, everybody, and good morning, colleagues.
What's that? I can't hear you.
Thank you.
You're saying?
I'm saying good morning, colleagues. Good morning, everybody, and good morning, South Africans.
Okay. Yes, Jerigajit, you're still under oath.
Yes, my
As you know.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
manje sakulungile ukuqala ke umnumzana ngeke umsola uqala futhi besenkantolo bekhumbuza ke umsola uqala ukuthi ngaphansi kwesifungo.
Thank you, Walter. But maybe just before we start, this got nothing to do with the witness here. There's information that we requested from the state with regard to the AVL records of certain vehicles. I think we dropped them an email some time ago. We haven't received any response. It's just a reminder, though. I realize that it might take a while for those for that information to be made available.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Let me just correct that. We did furnish them the information. The information related, in essence, to vehicles, amongst others, the red Golf. We indicated to them that, and we furnished them with a statement to that effect, that it was not fitted with a tracker, and they asked for AVL records for the Toyota Fortuner for the date of the 6th of June 2020, Malwat, which we furnished to them. Then there was also mention made of the BMW, the white BMW that was used. We received the statement over the weekend, and that is the copy that I mentioned earlier on that we were making, Malwat. We just struggled to retrieve this copy. However, we have since made a copy thereof and furnished them to the defense.
Has it been handed over to the court? Because I remember that evidence. Is that Miss Warrant Officer who the lady was driving the white BMW?
Sergeant
Sergeant Mkhola. She testified that it wasn't fitted.
Yes.
With an AVL, if I remember the evidence.
Yes, and we also drew the defense attention to the relevant evidence of Mr. Dupree.
Dupree.
Yes, the AVL expert who did mention that the red Golf was not fitted with a tracking device.
Yeah. But the fact is, these exhibits were handed over to the defense as the trial was going on.
Yes.
So everybody has, am I correct, Mr. Mnisi, that you were handed those exhibits during the trial?
I think, but what we and the state are not on the same footing here.
Okay.
On the when was our last date again? When it came here? On the 5th. Yes, on the 5th, the state indicated that the red Golf was not fitted with an AVL. And I stood up.
Whose Golf is it?
It's a red Golf that was used by Sergeant Mkhola when they arrested accused number 1 and accused number 2.
Oh, I see.
And it is also so that we also requested the AVL record of the Toyota Fortuner for the date of the 6th of June that we received. And I vividly remember that on the 5th of May, I stood up and said, it is very funny that vehicles that are serving the same purpose, one gets fitted with an AVL and the other one does not get fitted with an AVL. And with that, I was referring to the discrepancy between the Toyota Fortuner and the red Golf. Subsequent to that, I specifically indicated then that it would then mean that we'll have to take the matter further. Upon arrival at my office, I penned an email to my colleagues and requested specifically the AVL records of the motor vehicle that was driven in the main by Mr. Buthelezi from Metropolis, from Eguruleni Metropolis. I also mentioned some few names there. I can't remember. Well, I think Mapumulo is one of them. Munaringi, the Boli Sereng, Jonathan, Bonyaman, and the Bobongani, because we could not get the AVL record of the red Golf that was involved from the beginning of the arrest of accused number 1 up until accused number 1 was taken to custody on the 31st of May 2020 at Fileria. As a substitute thereto, we then requested the alternative AVL records of this motor vehicle that I've just requested here. We never limited our request to only the Fortuner, the red Golf, and the BMW. And in fact, I never requested the record of the BMW because we know that the BMW only got into the picture very late after all these accused were arrested. After accused number 1 and 3 were arrested, it would therefore have been a futile exercise for me to request those vehicles. So the follow-up that I'm making here is with regard to specifically the motor vehicles that were utilized by the Telezi, the Mapumulo, the Munareng, the Lisoreng, and the Jonathan, the Nyamanes, and the Yendes, and the Bonganes. All were involved in the arrest of accused number 1 and accused number 2. That's the information that I'm saying we are still waiting for the feedback there too. Thank you, my lord.
The evidence is on record. Those police officers from Ekurhuleni Metro testified. They testified about the trip sheets of those vehicles, and they indicated that there are no records, trip sheets for those vehicles. So we can't take it further than that, my lord.
Okay.
I'm flabbergasted, my lord, that my colleague is saying that those officers testified that they said there are no AVL records. How would they have known that those vehicles are fitted or not fitted with AVL? Because they were just mere drivers or officers of those vehicles. It is for the first time that I hear that the Metro Police, when they drove those vehicles were never fitted with AVL. And I've reread the record on the testimony of those witnesses. I did not come across such evidence, which is the reason why I requested the AVL. It will also be very surprising, my lord, that this AVL, that is motor vehicle, all of a sudden are also not fitted with AVL. They were not fitted with AVL gadgets. Therefore, we are unable to get their AVL records. It will be very sad, indeed, because this is central to the case and the cross-examination of this witness here, Brigadier Kininda, without which we will be very prejudiced, and without which we might not be able to prefer our defense the manner in which we would have had we had those AVL records. But I'm not inclined to take Advocate Baloyi's word that those witnesses said that those vehicles did not have AVL records, or actually did not have AVL gadgets, and therefore no AVL records.
What evidence is it on the record, Mr. Baloyi?
Yes, I mentioned specifically, about the trip sheets. They mentioned that those trip logs cannot be located.
Okay, fine. You'll discuss it further with your learned colleague.
As it is the court.
Yes, you start.
Thank you, Madam.
Right.